Well, today was a lot going on. So I'm watching Ahmaud Arbery closing arguments in the murder trial of the ravenous rodents, the evil vermin that murdered Ahmaud Arbery. So I'm watching the closing arguments on that. And I'm also watching, well, I watched now, but today I watched an amazing movie, King Richard. So it's a high and a low, or a low and a high. It's crazy. So I had to cover that. And so that's something. So today we're going to talk about those things. So today it's going to be King Richard, the McMichaels and the Bryans, Mr. Bryan, the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. They went to closing arguments. And we're going to cover those two things. But before we get into all of that, Johnson, last week, if you were here, you may have heard it, you may have watched it. I talked about Abba and Peaches and Herb. Okay? Peaches and Herb. Peaches and, they're a 90s, 80s soul band. Abba and Preach. Okay, so I talked about them. The reason why I talked about them is they put out an atrocious piece of video content about Kyle Rittenhouse. And in this content, it wasn't just that this guy, Abba, felt that Kyle Rittenhouse was justified in what he did and was all self-defense. And it was that he went down the list of every white nationalist, right-wing talking point and hit every bell. It's like he ran from bell to bell to bell. It was like he was in a relay. It was like, here goes a white stereotype talking point. Get that one. Ding, ding, ran across. And there goes another one over there. Ding, hit that one. And ding, it was like he was in the Joe Rogan Fear Factor contest. How many white people can he make be his friend? That's what it was like. It was like, how many white nationalists can he buddy up with? How many right-wing mofos can he attract to his channel? That's what it was. It was like very safely in the right-wing Fox News variety. So that's what I did. Now, I'm only addressing this because, Lord have mercy, guys, if you looked at my comment section on that video, yeah, wow. And look, guys, it's not a problem. People put out content all the time I disagree with. I usually don't pay attention to it. People made me aware of this. These people get 500,000 views and up. They're very popular. It's fair game for me to comment on it. I don't want to make it like it's the end of the world because it's not the end of the world. It's just not the end of the world. It's not that major deal. But it is something, isn't it? The reason why I want to talk about it before we get started and everything else, and I'm going to keep it brief, Johnson, is that the commenters, the fans, obviously, like, I'm so suppressed in the YouTube algorithm that most of what I put out, even though I have 140,000, I used to have 150,000, now I'm like 140,000 followers. There's a reason for that. And it's not because I'm horrible and I can't put out good content. It's because YouTube don't send my shit out. And I made a mistake of changing some things, and YouTube doesn't, they punish you for making decisions to change your audience. So that's what happens. And then I talk about, like I said, I support reparations and the black agenda. So that's already going to get smothered. There's nobody who supports that who has big numbers. I only have big numbers, or to some people, because I supported it, but I didn't talk much about it before. So when you start talking about that, YouTube will step on you. So all the great people out there that are talking about reparations for black people and the black agenda, you're going to notice that their numbers are not big. It's not because they suck. It's not because they don't put out good content. It's because YouTube wants it that way, okay? And also, there's not that big a market for it. Honestly, like, most white people don't give a shit, and half of the black people sleep, and it is what it is. The reason why I'm talking about Abba and Preach and Peaches and Herb, reason why is I want to put a bow on this and move on. It's obvious they're not going to respond to this, and that's fine. They've got over 1 million subscribers. Why would they respond to me? What am I? Just black guy on the internet, talking loud. Who cares what I've done? It doesn't matter. They're big time in Canada. So I didn't even know they were from Canada. I didn't know Abba was Ethiopian or something close, I'm not sure. People are saying stuff. I didn't know that Preach was Haitian. I didn't know any of these things. What I knew is they had a garbage take. Abba had a garbage take on black people, and I don't approve of that. And I'm perfectly in bounds to make comments about it. Here's the thing, guys. When I saw the comments that were made from his fans, from the fans, because the people that watch this video mostly were Abba and Preach fans. That's who searches for them. My usual audience is not looking up videos that says Abba Preach in the title. So, of course, the people that are mostly going to comment are going to be people who are supporters of the people in the title. Here's the thing, guys. I want to thank Abba and Preach for this whole experience. It's been very eye-opening. It's been very eye-opening, guys, because prior to this, when I hear people talk about people of color and they say, Tim, and they wouldn't even be talking to me specifically, but they would be, sometimes on my radio show they'd say it, but typically it'd just be in the comment section. It'd be some brothers and sisters talking, black brothers and sisters, and they'd say people of color are detrimental to our struggle to get reparations. Non-foundational black folks don't get it. You know, just because people are black doesn't mean they, you know, or brown skin doesn't mean they're in the fight for us or what have you. And I would hear it, but I would kind of be like, well, you know, maybe they don't get it to the extent we get it, but I mean, black is black, right? I mean, there's discrimination all over the globe. There's colorism all over the globe. These are things that are interchangeable any place you go. I mean, you can go to China and they're like, if you're dark-skinned Chinese, you get treated fucked up. My friend Ida Rodriguez, she just put out a comedy special called Fighting Words, and she talks about it in that comedy special on HBO Max. She talks about colorism with Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and different people of Latina or Latinx or however you refer to it, descent. So this is not a new thing. So it's universal to me. That's how I looked at it. Well, I have been corrected, Johnson. Oh, I've been corrected. I've been corrected. Yo, Canada is not America. I'm now convinced that Preach and Abba don't talk from a position of total disregard for us. They just don't know shit. Yeah, they just don't understand. They're children in the conversations of race in America, meaning they're ignorant. They don't know. And the reason why I make such a harsh claim is because their fans, for the most part, have no fucking idea. I mean, Jesus Christ, folks. During my challenge to Abba's video, my response to my reaction, I said, well, look, maybe Abba just doesn't get it because he's a brown-skinned, looks like an Indian dude or whatever, and I think Preach would get it. Abba doesn't get it because he's brown-skinned Indian dude. He might not understand racism to the same extent or discrimination to the same extent as Preach, who's a very dark-skinned brother. He's about my complexion. I got a lot of lights on right now, but I'm pretty darker. Maybe you could tell that. There were people from his page who got offended that I said that a dark-skinned, black-skinned person, dark-skinned brown person would have more discrimination, experience more discrimination in their life than maybe a lighter brown-skinned person who looks like he's Indian or Asian or some other denomination I didn't know. They actually said I was being racist for saying darker-skinned people get treated different. Now, I just got through telling you that this is something that I've been told exists all over the world. But on the Abba and Preach channel of millions of people, they don't understand this. In fact, they misunderstand it so much that they will come to my channel and complain that I am divisive, that I say dark-skinned black people experience a higher level of discrimination. We all know this. And that just goes to prove my point, guys. They should not be speaking on black people issues. But if you don't know that racism in America, color, I mean, even in the black community, man, They need to watch my content. I had great director and actor Bill Duke on the show. He was telling me how he was growing up. The black church had a brown paper bag test. And if your skin was too dark, you couldn't even go in the fucking church. That's in America. And that's in the black community. Well, that's not a good thing, but is this thing working? Maybe not. So if you don't understand that, like if you have no idea that there's colorism, that there's racism, discrimination, you should not be talking about cop murders, police brutality, anything race-related. Stick to talking about the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Stick to talking about, things that don't matter. Talk about the Grammys, who put out a good movie, if LeBron should be traded. And talk about relationships. If a woman should, get put out on this first date or if that makes her tragedy, whatever corny, run-of-the-mill, very safe type of content, because when you start delving into black people's shit, we're starting to cross over into a realm where you got to kind of actually know shit. And it's not just a different opinion, it's fucked up. Now look, I'm not trying to make them seem like they're the worst people in the world. I mean, people comment all the time. I'm sure there's a bunch of white guys who made a bunch of lame-ass content about Kyle Rittenhouse. In fact, I know there are. The problem is, when you look brown and you look like you down, but you're not, it's confusing. So I want to give an apology, not to Arbery and Preach, but to all the people that said, Tim, man, these people of color, you got to look out for them. And I was sort of like, man, come on, man, don't be that way. They know what's up. I stand corrected. Not only do they not know what's up, their fans don't know what's up. I was actually taking it easy on Abba, because I thought maybe I'm just singling out the guy who doesn't know race very well. Maybe the darker skinned guy would know race more, and that's why they got two people. So when you got two people, one person can have a wheelhouse with race, the other one has a wheelhouse with the military. I heard that one guy is in the military or in some other areas, and that's what's great, is that they balance each other out. But it seems to me that you're both on the same side. Like, neither one of you guys understand this, or your comment section will not be littered with people totally misinformed about race and having a lot to say, who think me challenging you on your opinion of race is somehow racist. For black people to talk about racial issues. I mean, if you're a black American living in America, or grew up in America, you don't understand that there's color issues, you're either a child or you're grossly ignorant. I mean, I don't care if you got as much money as LeBron and Shaq. You know America. You know the difference of how people get treated based on how they look, based on color. I mean, we accept that there's differences in how we get treated if you're a man or woman. No one would argue that. No one goes, oh, well, these are like known issues. Women goes to buy a car. She calls the husband, hey, but maybe is this a good price? Maybe this car repair guy or this car salesman's trying to get over on me because she's like, I'm a woman, I don't know much. He's trying to get over on me. Like, there's known things. I've had female friends saying they need work done on their home. They need a guy to come help them talk to the contractor, make sure they don't get hosed. Like, we know these things exist. I'm not saying they're good at all. They're horrible shit. But if you're going to be talking about black issues and not know, I mean, it's a whole thing. Like, when we go and hang out, if we got a white guy with us, that's who talks to the cops. I mean, unless you're mute. I mean, we've all heard jokes about this. You mean your people don't know this? You send these morons come to my channel, and they don't even know that? I mean, fuck, it's a Dave Chappelle joke, for God's sake. We all know that. Here's the thing, man. You have no credibility to talk about these things, man. I'm not saying you can make money. And another thing, if you're gonna talk about something as serious as Kyle Rittenhouse, and all you're gonna give us is 8 minutes of your time, shut the fuck. I mean, come on, man. That goes to show you how much you give a fuck. You gave it 8 minutes. There are videos on your channel that double that amount of time talking about frivolous shit. So it's like a lack of consideration for black viewers, but it just shows what kind of audience you got. And I got you, man. I understand you guys do shows. So, you do shows and you're popular in Canada. That's great. Because if you come to America with that bullshit, I see eggs and tomatoes in your future. I mean, unless you can get on some white universities, campuses, in a closed environment where a bunch of white people just go, yeah, great. You're so reasonable. You're not like the other ones. And whenever white people are telling you that you're reasonable, and that's why I come here, because you're so reasonable, that's code for you don't stand up for black people. That's all that means. That's not a good thing unless you want to be a sellout. It's not a badge of honor for a bunch of conservative white people to be like, hey, man, I like you. You're one of the reasonable ones. That's why I come here, because you confirm my fucked up biases. Got some merch I can buy? Man, I understand economics. We're all up against economics. I understand ambition. And I also understand ignorance. And I don't know what's influencing you, but I'm going to go ahead and chalk this up to a lack of experience and ignorance on your part. You guys are the Michael Jackson. Am I black or white? Black or white? I'm going to spend my life being a color. What kind of... You don't get to choose how the world treats you because of your color. I always find it amazing that people from a group of people that only looked at what color we were. It didn't matter the content of our character. Didn't matter our skills. It was illegal for us to read a book, to learn, to go to school. We were barred from neighborhoods, barred from restaurants, barred from learning, barred from being employed in most vocations besides sharecropping. And when we say, hey, your discrimination fucked this up in America's races, you go, why are you going to make everything about race? And that's all America's been doing to black people since black people were put in chains and brought to this motherfucker. If you want to be on the side of that, man, well, let's just say it's a disappointment. But hey, capitalism, right? All right, let's keep it moving, guys. We got other stuff to get to. I wouldn't want to spend too much time on it because Johnson, before we get to, I'm going to get to Ahmaud Arbery, but I think that's where we're going to spend the most time. Let's go right to the movie. The movie. I'm not a big crybaby at movies. Nah, I try not to be. It's not like I look at a movie and go, I want to be touched by the movie. I want to get into my softer side. That's not what I do. I watch the movie and I try to react, whatever happens, happens. And I like to say I'm not a water faucet, but I'm not going to, if I feel a certain way, I feel a certain way. And Jesus Christ, this movie made me tear up more than once, okay? I mean, it really tore me. This movie... Who's complaining about King Richard? I want to see the people that are complaining about it. I already saw it was like white women. First of all, white women, you have no claim to Serena Venus. None. Sorry, the movie's not what you wanted it to be. Where black men are dogged and degraded. This movie's about a dad who helped his children, built up his children. I know that's contrary to what you want. It's like, we're damned if we do, damned if we don't. See, this movie, guys, let me back up a little bit. This movie is about Venus and Serena Williams. It's about their father helping them become who they are today. It's about the road to victory, the road to becoming tennis champions, icons, phenoms. Phenoms. I mean, when I was coming up in the 90s, man, Venus, it was like, she was like the Tiger Woods of tennis, but younger. She's like 14, 15 years old, and everyone was talking about Venus. Little black girls in our school, like girls in our school, were emulating her with the braids and the individuals or whatever, with the little things on them. You know? So that's what this movie's about. And the title's King Richard. And that's what it's about, a dad and the kids, the daughters and the mom and the family and what they went through and how they got to how they got to the beginning, because it ends when things start to really go up. It's like the struggle to get to where things really take off. And all of it's just great. I don't want to give much away. I don't want to give no spoilers, okay? But I'm just saying, watch this movie. Some people are upset. They say that this movie should not have focused on, should have focused on King Richard. Richard Williams, the father, played by Will Smith. They say because it's detracting from Serena and Venus. Why is it focused on the man when it's about Serena and Venus? I don't know, because that's the way the executive producers wanted it to be. And those executive producers, oh my God, are actually Venus and Serena. That's right, we have more of white people telling black people how to live their lives. Not only get to tell us, not only get to tell us what we can do, where we can work, where we can sit, back of the bus, front of the bus, this lunch counter, that lunch counter. Don't eyeball me, boy. Walk in the gutter when you see a white person. Speak to a white woman when we cut your dick off. Go over here, jump off a cliff. First fired, last hired. You can't live here. But now, even all this time, 2021, even the most successful black people in sports, two of the most successful black women in sports who have ever existed in the world, can't put out the movie they want to put out about their own story without white women wanting to take agency. So let me get this right. You're saying that Will Smith's character took agency away from Venus and Serena. Now you're taking agency from Venus and Serena. Because that's the way they wanted it to be. They wanted to tell a story from his vantage point. Maybe they feel like we're already famous as hell. Like, how much more famous can we be? Let's tell our dad's story. Let's tell our story through our dad, who without him, maybe we're not here. I don't know if you noticed in that, white people, but there are a lot of black people with talents. Not everybody has a Richard Williams. And let's not leave Mom out, because Mom was amazing. Mom was amazing, so there's a lot in this movie. Different elements of the movie I thought were fantastic. Will Smith's performance. I'm jumping around a bit because I don't want to give anything away. Will Smith's performance was amazing. He is back in a big way. Okay? This was perfect for him. He played it perfectly. Wow. It was to me, it hit the notes. And see, as a girl dad, right? Because I have boys, I have two boys and a daughter as well. And now I have two grandchildren. Lala will be 3 real soon. 3 the day after Thanksgiving. It struck me in a very personal way because I have a daughter and granddaughters, and I hope to be half as good. But the dad wasn't perfect. You know, dad wasn't perfect. You know, mom had to check dad a couple times. They're leaving out stuff in their criticism. Because it's not like they painted dad like the all-knowing, he really seemed like he came into his own once he let go of the reins more and said, hey, Venus gets to choose what she's gonna do. The biggest contract signing of her life, they're negotiating, she's like, you gotta talk to Venus. That was so powerful. What are you talking about? He took the spotlight from Venus and Serena. It's a movie. I don't want to underscore, or I don't want to underestimate, or underemphasize would be a better word, the role of the mom was strong as hell. The mom was the quiet guiding force. And there's one scene where the mom says, hey, she got on Dad. You understand? King Richard got dethroned big time. Okay? And he's like, what you gonna do, leave? She's like, no, I'm not gonna leave. Because he's all bragging about all the stuff he's done. It's like they knew people were gonna be like, he's arrogant. So he's like bragging, the character's bragging like, I've done all this, I created all this, I came up with all this, I got all this stuff. She's like, hold on. You ain't do this on your own. I've been with you the whole time. Who you think taught her how to swing? Because mom's an athlete. I had to correct her swing because you messed it up. And what about you and other shit you've done? Like, she called him out because he has a couple other kids from a previous marriage that he's not tending to the way he should, so it's not painting him as a saint. But she says, look, I would have left you, but I ain't leave my girls. That's why I'm here. If I was only here for you, I'd be gone. I mean, she put Dad in check, but then she loves on him. Oh, she loves on him in a very special way. When them tears start welling up, because that's the type of love we all want. So they praise, they praise them. Some people praise the movie. More people praise it than criticize it. But those who criticize it are criticizing it for reasons I think that are unfounded, that are insincere. You know, we all get to write our own stories. And if you're in a privileged position that Serena and Venus are in, that they could executive produce and have the final say on something, and then you say, I don't like that they focus. Well, that's just like, go watch something else. They're making it seem like they're sexist. Like, how can you be sexist with your dad? These people are sick. Centering Dad is a choice of the daughters. And it's really no one else's business why they did it. I'm glad they did it. You know why? Because we need more dad-centered. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. If dads are there, they're overpowering. If they're not there, they're deadbeats. That's how it goes. If dad's not involved, he's garbage because he's not involved. If dad's there and he is involved, he's overpowering. Wish he wasn't there. Wish he wasn't involved. Who asked you? It's the arrogance of whiteness, man. Yo, I have never watched a movie about a white person and felt like, particularly a white person who's making a movie about themselves and been like, why'd you choose that about your story that you're telling that I'm watching on that you made? Why'd you choose to do? I know it's like the paternalistic nature of, it's just white supremacy like a motherfucker. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know how else to put that. Hit that. Come on, man, hit that. Most racist thing in the world, man. I always say, why is it that I never do the things they do? I never even thought that I would tell another person how to tell their own damn story. It's crazy. Dad was turned down going shopping for his kids, trying to get him a deal, trying to get him in camp. He couldn't afford to get him in tennis lessons. He has to fight for him. People in the street, literally, he had to take an ass whooping for his daughters. I mean, there's a lot in this that's like, wow, this is great. We need more of this. Don't listen to critics. Form your own opinions. Don't even listen to mine. Not more than yourselves. Hope this makes you more interested if you haven't seen it. But your opinion is the most important opinion, of course. Now, there's another reason why this hit home for me so much. I was raised as Jehovah's Witness. Okay, so the fact that this kept coming up, people may have saw it as arrogance or overbearingness, because there were rules in the household, like what you could watch on TV, what you could do with your time. And I know that's real. It's not because their dad's an asshole, that's because that's the religion, the religious practices of that religion. That's what that is. That's not extra dad being an asshole. It's just what it is. Man, wait till you find out they don't have Christmas. You're going to really be like, wow, evil dad. No, that's the religion. You don't celebrate Christmas or birthdays. Oh, no. Yeah, no. That's why I left. That's why I left, Johnson. That's one reason why I left. You got to go to the hall. We had to go to the hall 3 times a week. We had to go knock on people's doors and say, you want to live forever? Do you want to have everlasting life? I hated that. But that's why I started learning public speaking. And it wasn't my dad, it was my mom, because my dad, all he did was work. And he was like, I don't go. By the time I was like 6, he stopped going. Mom dragged us to the hall. That's who dragged us. That's who dragged us to the hall. So anyway, my mom was just as strict as their dad, and my mom had a husband, and she was in the church. It ain't got nothing to do with men and women. My mom was the same way, because that's the religion. So anyway, white lady with critiques, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. It's the religion. Okay. You didn't know that? You watched it, right? Before you wrote your article? It's like, we got to go to the hall. Hell, my mom wouldn't even let me participate in sports because the elders was like, he could spend that time pioneering. You can't be after school in these events when you could be out trying to save the world. What's more important, saving the world or playing football? Shit, he was nice. The King Richard was nice. He let him play sports. I wish I could have done that. He was breaking rules, basically. Because, anyway, I won't go no further into that religion, just to say this. Let's recap. Venus and Serena are phenoms. Everybody knows they're phenoms. That's why you know them and only got to say their first 2 names. There's a few people like that. Tiger, Shaq, Venus, Serena. Kobe, LeBron. These are phenoms. To have the movie focus on them, it's kind of redundant, unless that's their choice. Either way, this does not make them less famous or less amazing. Focusing on their dad being very instrumental does not take away the fact that they are very talented people. Like, you can have an overbearing dad and still be shit. Right? Your dad can't make you be a great tennis player. You gotta want that shit. And that was also a theme. A couple coaches told them the same thing. Like, yo, you can't make your kids be successful in this unless they want it. And the daughter's like, I want to be the best. I want to do this. Okay, well, just making sure. Because a lot of parents try to push their children, and their children don't want it, and they don't work out because you can't make someone great at something. Get it? Okay. Yeah, it's not rocket science that obviously Venus and Serena worked hard as hell. All those balls they hit, no matter how good dad is, no matter how good the movie made him show that he was involved, all the hard work is Venus and Serena, all the perseverance, Venus and Serena, all of the focus, take it from a dad. You can love the hell out of your kids, but if they're going to go out, stick out the house and party, unless you could chain them to the, chain the door shut or something, they're going to do it. So it's also on the kids if they're going to listen, if they're going to follow rules, if they're going to buy into the dream. So last but not least, we want more Venus and Serena. And if we want more Venus and Serena, we have to want more Richards. Yeah, we have to want more Richards. That's how that works. See, so some of the critics are trying to wonder, do you really want black people to succeed? Yeah, like, or do you just don't like the image of a black dad helping his daughter succeed? Like, See, they're real comfortable with the black woman movies where the black woman has a hateful man, a no-good black man who ain't around, and she achieves in spite of the dad, or in spite of her husband, or an abusive husband that she shoots. We all know those movies. I never hear you complain about them. Never go, damn, another movie where there's no black dad. No complaints. But a movie with a black dad and a black mom and 5 black daughters from the Compton, surrounded by gang violence, the focus, the love, and you shit on it. Well, as long as you got your priorities in order. Way to go. At least they're not playing around, man, pretending like they give a shit about us. You know what I mean? Like, that's the worst, when people pretend that they care. Also, guys, always remember, hate gets a lot more views than love. So a harsh critic will always get more ink and more publicity than a favorable critic. So always keep that in the back of your head. Whenever critics, people want to hear you tear down someone. They don't want to hear you build up someone. So there you go. There it is. Which is probably why I know it's an influence why some people criticize. Okay. It's not always genuine. Now, I had the misfortune of having to watch the Ahmaud Arbery murder conviction trial. I would say the McMichael Bryans trial, but no one knows who they are. When I put that in stuff, people go, who's this McMichael motherfucker? McMichaels, don't they sell like plants and crafts? Like, no, it's the killers of Ahmaud Arbery. Oh, okay. The hillbillies in Georgia. So that's no one's searching for hillbillies in Georgia. So I got to put Ahmaud Arbery's name in the title. I don't really look forward to doing it, but that's what I had to do. Here's the point, guys. Ow! Today makes you want to throw stuff at the TV. The closing arguments by the defense, some of the most racist shit I've seen in a long time. They went to such depths to make Ahmaud Arbery the cause of his own murder. It's a clinic on how to be a racist. If anybody thinks that Georgia is not still racist as fuck, they need to watch this. This woman was describing Ahmaud Arbery's body. He came to our town. Showing his hips and his short khaki shorts. His slender legs. No socks. His long, dirty toenails visible in his shoes. Like, what the fuck is this? Is this the advertising for a snuff film? What is this I'm watching? This? You want to demonetize me, YouTube? These videos all monetized, all this shit. CBS, ABC, NBC, all playing this white lady describing a dead black man murdered by rednecks. And just fine. But me mentioning any issue that's of importance, demonetized. Demonetized. Folks, this was some horrific shit to have to sit through. I had to stop it and go watch some more of King Richard as a pick-me-up. That's how bad this shit was. Somehow they want to paint it like Ahmaud caused his own death because he didn't run fast enough or continue to run the other way from these killers, because that's what they are. These are fucking killers, Johnson. And they also want to paint the killers as afraid. They use the same old cop defenses. Yeah, we're afraid for our lives. His scary black big black monsters coming at us. We didn't know what to do. Yeah, well, Ahmaud had no weapons. Ahmaud had no weapons. For 4 minutes, he tried to elude them. Like, there are people talking about this story, and I just wish, man, I wish I was a little younger and a little dumber. You know what I'm saying? Because people are saying shit. It's horrific shit. Listen, guys. Ahmaud Arbery ran for 4 minutes. It's on tape. William Roddy Bryans taped this. They pursued him for 4 minutes. 3 white guys, 2 pickup trucks, and 2 weapons. Pursued an unarmed man for walking into a construction site that had no doors, no windows, and they took nothing and left. They're yelling at him from the truck, "We're gonna blow your brains off, nigga! We're gonna blow your brains out! We're gonna stop or we'll shoot you!" No sirens, no, we're police, they are police. So just yelling at a black man in Georgia that they're gonna kill him. And then they kill him. And then they say, "We were afraid, that's why we had to kill him. We just kept saying we're gonna kill him, but we didn't mean it when we said it. We were just trying to get him to stop." That's what we say when we want people to talk to us. We say we're gonna shoot them and blow their heads off if they don't talk to us. And usually that's how we get people to talk to us. We don't just go, "Hey, can we talk to you?" We get our guns and get in our pickup trucks and we chase them for 4 minutes. And there are people saying, in their defense, that they want to start the whole debate when Ahmaud's coming at, Travis. They leave out the part that he was blocked in by another truck behind him with Roddy in it. Brian guy. So he's sandwiched between 2 trucks. And then they say, "Well, he ran at us." That's only because you boxed him in. You said on the radio, this is all recorded, "We got him trapped like a rat." So they trap a person like a rat, and then when the rat says fear of flight, because he's been flighting, it's fight or flee, right? It's fight or flight. That's it. So in fear, you go flight or fight. So he had been flighting. And I'm sure if he could have flown, he would have flew, but he couldn't fly. So he's been running. He ran for 4 minutes trying to get away. Went this way, they followed him, they chased him down with trucks, get in front, he go the other way, they do the same thing. Finally, he's like probably running out of breath, like, shit, I'm just gonna go, man, I'm not gonna die without a fight. And that's what they say, well, they were afraid for their lives. He was afraid the whole time for his life, obviously. You got 2 rednecks in a pickup trucks, 2 rednecks in pickup trucks, one in the bed of the truck with a gun, okay? And I'm sure he was in the fear for his life. But that's something you should ignore. Don't pay attention to that. Never mind the fact that Ahmaud Arbery was scared for his life. No, the defense, and that's what they do, they want you to be like, "Oh, the killers were scared. The killers were scared." So, it's just a bunch of bullshit. This thing is like about this citizen's arrest. Oh, it was a citizen's arrest. They're trying to make a citizen's arrest. It's funny. It's funny, guys. Everyone's using that now, right? Citizen's arrest in this story. What's amazing is that when the statements were taken, Travis and Greg, dad and son, and William, none of them mentioned citizen's arrest. Yeah, that's something their lawyers cooked up. "Hey, I can help get you out of this." We could say it was a citizen's arrest. Yeah, that's what we were doing. Is it? Yeah, that's what we were doing. Okay, yeah. Now say it to me one more time. What were y'all doing? We were trying to conduct a citizen's arrest. Yeah, okay, because they never said that. They didn't say it the day when the cops showed up, there's a dead man that they just killed. What's going on here? We were trying to conduct a citizen's arrest. No, that's not what they said. They're trying to say, well, we tried to fight him. We tried to ask him questions. We wanted to know what he was doing, and he just lost his mind. We had to kill him. That's what they said. They didn't say they were trying to apprehend him for a citizen's arrest. This also doesn't qualify because he wasn't committing a felony. Even if you say he was trespassing is not a felony. It's what you call a misdemeanor. People get tickets for misdemeanors. What they should not get is a couple of good old boys with shotguns and pistols in pickup trucks chasing them down the street for 4 minutes. Like, that's supposed to be illegal. Also, they wanted to stop and detain Ahmaud. They said they were trying to capture Ahmaud. Capture. Those are the words the defense attorney used. Who in the slave revolt Django Unchained, like, who in the Root Slave Patrol 1860, 1850, 17, who in the hell told these crackers, that's illegal? Like, we were trying to capture them, because they were just trying to capture them. So that's what we're doing. Now, there's a lot of people talking about, Georgia, the Mecca, but they talk about Atlanta. Brunswick is not the place to live, all right? What else? They saw a black man running down the street, and just assumed the crime was committed. Yeah, the crime of walking into a construction site and taking nothing and leaving. It's funny, man, because they saw him run away. They saw him running, assuming he was doing something illegal, so they chased him. It's funny because, same thing happened with with Kyle Rittenhouse. Not to bring that back up, but when Kyle was running, they all got mad that people assumed he did something, He actually did something. He actually shot somebody, killed someone. So he's running with a gun, and the people defending him running with a gun after firing at someone and shooting them and killing them. Ahmaud's running after not having a weapon, not firing on anyone, and it chases this guy with guns. I also want to make note, guys, that I noticed that I didn't see a lot of my Kyle Rittenhouse people making content about how guilty the McMichaels are. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of content about, how Ahmaud should be avenged and, justice need to be served and these people need to go to jail for the rest of their natural lives. I don't see that. And that's why being reasonable, fuck reasonable. Understand what I'm saying? Fuck reasonable. See, they want you to be, here's the trap. And this is what I learned. I had to learn this, guys. Because I'm naturally like, I try to be a nice guy, good guy, fair guy. But just because you give people the benefit of the doubt doesn't mean they give that to you. So I'm sure there's some people like, well, Kyle's a young man, want to respect Kyle Rittenhouse. Like this going to be a trade-off. Like they're going to be like, oh, okay, well, we'll support Ahmaud then. You support Kyle, we'll support Ahmaud. Hell no, that ain't how it go. White supremacy doesn't make deals, dummy. White supremacy wants it all. That's why it's called white supremacy. You ain't going to be the nice your way into freedom, into equity, or into getting a check cut, or into reparations. You ain't going to be able to, look, real talk, man. Look. I know there are people out there that mean well. You mean well. You think you can barter your way with people. You think that you can talk with racists because it's some punk-ass dude named Durrell that these cornball fake progressives, sellouts, keep throwing in our face that they're able to talk to skinheads and get their Klan robes or whatever. Listen to me, man. There is no bargaining with racists. There is no negotiation tactics with white supremacists. We have to beat them, okay? Literally defeat them, okay? We have to use our leverage with whatever we have, whatever leverage we have to get what the fuck we want. Because they're not just going to stop hating black people. They're not going to just stop being racist. They're not just going to stop being white supremacists. And when you do have the occasional white supremacist that says, hey, man, I was wrong all this time. Black people ain't mud people. Who cares, okay? Who gives a shit? I want equality in our institutions, in our justice system, in our medical fields, in the health insurance, in our lending and borrowing, okay? That's what I wanted. I wanted all those places that touch our lives. In the educational systems, this is what I want. See, it's fool's gold and stupid to make a big deal out of one person giving you a fucking Klan robe. Meanwhile, we got a bunch of Klan members in our police forces all over this country. And it's also disrespectful as hell for black people who claim they ride for black people to sit around pandering to it. Pandering to the sons and daughters of a bunch of racists. Or worse yet, pandering to the actual racists because they could get more views on a piece of content or more clicks on an article. This story, this case is plain and simple. Whatever Ahmaud Arbery was doing, he wasn't doing anything different than all the other white people who walked past that property, and there's footage of all these white people walking in and out of that property, looking at the new house, looking at the new development. No one lives here, and just checking it out and leaving. A lot of people did that. There's hours and hours of footage on the Ring or whatever, the surveillance film, okay? That they kept, the cameras that they kept at that location. But the only time they thought, we got somebody who may have stole something, was when it was a black man. And if you want to make that not racist because you got a white audience, go fuck yourself. And you're not fooling me. Now, I don't even think you're fooling your audience. They're just so happy to have a coon in their rotation, they don't know what to do with themselves. Except buy your merch and support you. They just want to keep you cooning. They like to pretend. They like to keep up appearances that they're not really racist. They like to point to your dumb ass and say, see, we got them, and I get it. You'll happily be their coon because it supports your bottom line. But you ain't going to be able to safely dash your way back into our graces and be cool with us. Get what I'm saying? There was once upon a time I didn't talk about reparations often. I didn't talk about it because, shit, we know why. It's a hard struggle. I'm like, man, how are we ever going to get this? It's unlikely. It's too much fighting and arguing. Then I realized if I don't talk about it, we never get it. Like you have an obligation to talk about it. How could you not talk about it, Tim? That's the difference. I was never opposed to it. I just didn't talk about it often. But when you have people on like Dr. William Sandy Durrity, Dr. Derek Hamilton, we had these people on, when you read the book by Sean Rochester, The Black Tax, when you become educated and you read through it, say, you know what? There is no fucking way that we ever get anywhere without me or without us getting this done. There's no way we'll ever have any equality without a wealth transfer of some kind. They put us too far back. If they wanted everybody to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, everyone should have been given shoes with laces. They didn't give us shoes, let alone laces. And then they say, pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. So that is just salt in the wound. They say it just to piss us off, to mock us, to make fun. And the others say it because they don't know shit. They're ignorant, and their schools don't teach them anything. And the way things are going, they want them to know even less than they know now, which is nothing. So people are already pretty fucking stupid. They don't know about the Homestead Act, the GI Bill, the New Deal. They don't know we were excluded from all this shit that got white people a life. All the things that made white people in America. Because before it was just rich people. Because we weren't considered people. So what made white people was the opportunity to obtain a middle class and some form of foundation in suburban neighborhoods and shit like that. That's what made you white. Before then, it was just rich and poor people. Black people were not considered people. So that don't count. Get what I'm saying? So most people don't know this stuff. And one of my hopes is that we're able to inform enough people so that they can know this stuff. So we can have the fight. So that we can have an opportunity to get this shit done. So I started talking about these reparations because I feel like I have an obligation to do it. Because if we don't raise awareness, and not just black spaces, but white spaces as well, and we don't get some white people on our side on this shit, we're not going to have enough political power in order to get it done. So we need black political power, and we need allies to team up so we get this shit done. And that's what I'm trying to do. Back to this damn Ahmaud Arbery case. This is a baseline litmus test, and this is an easy one. You standing on Shaq's shoulders, all you gotta do is lay it in the basket. This is obviously murder, okay? So if you got people in your circle that are looking at this like, I don't know, let the courts decide, cut them the fuck off. If you watch them again, never watch me. I'm serious. If you watch these motherfuckers, if you are, I mean this so heartily, man. If that's who you're rocking with, unrock with me. I'm cool. I've already lost 8,000 people. What's 2 more thousand? If you are one of those people that haven't made your mind up about this Ahmaud Arbery shit, you still need more information. You watch Officer whatever, the coon that was with Candace. Yeah, he said some things that made you think. Whatever it is, whatever nonsense you on, I'm cool. Be on it. But be on it over there. Don't be in my comment section on that shit. All right? Because this is a layup. Can you believe the murderers are on the stand trying to cry? They must have saw a little bit of the Rittenhouse case. It was, can you believe this shit? Travis killed that young man, but all he had to do was get his punk ass back in his goddamn truck. Let the young man leave. He probably never came back around there again. 2 white guys with guns and pickup trucks, 3 white guys, 2 guns, chasing him in broad daylight, talking about blowing his head off. He'll never come back there again. But that wasn't enough to scare the young man away. They had to confront him with guns. They want him to beg for his life. And you need to hear more testimony. You need to examine all the facts. You are a racist piece of shit. You may not know it, but I do. It's like people who got bad breath and don't know it. You know, because they can't smell themselves. Do that. All right, guys. What else? That's it. Tomorrow we do the Tim Black Show. We open up phone lines. People get to call in, and they can tell me what they think about all this nonsense. Recap. King Richard, great movie. Watch it for yourselves. I'm sure you'll love it. Don't be arrogant and be like, why did they do this? Why did they focus more on these 2 celebrities? 2 of black men, black fathers. We need some good press. Thank you, Venus and Serena. Thank you, Will Smith. I appreciate it. Abba and Peaches and Herb. Peaches and the Herb. Whatever. Go with God. You know, get a real black friend. Hang out with him. That's what you do. Get a real black friend and hang out with him. Maybe then you'll understand the blacks. Get a real black friend, Peaches and Herb, and hang out with him. Maybe you'll understand the blacks. You know, get a black girlfriend or black pal, you know, something. Get a black pen pal. Yeah. What else? That's it. That's everything. All right, guys. This is a podcast. This is a video podcast. Go to timblackpause.com for the podcast. Write a review. Get a couple of cut-to-check wristbands on us. If I don't see you before Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving. Shit, well, I never plan out what I'm going to do on the holidays. But I think I'll be here talking on Wednesday. I think I will. Not positive. Okay. That's all I got, Johnson. Thank you for supporting this show. I know you don't have to. But we appreciate you keeping us going. All right, because without you, what do we got? It ain't like a bunch of people are breaking down my door to support a show that supports reparations and the black agenda. That shit don't happen. All right? I want to give a big shout out to all the other channels of people that are out there fighting a good fight. If you're out here fighting a good fight for black people, I salute you. If you're out here doing like some others and caping and throwing us under the bus, well, you get the finger. That's it, y'all. Cut the check. Wolfpack.